KYTV, Springfield, Missouri. #1 in the Ozarks. With Lisa Richardson, Fred Miller Weather, and Joe Hickman Sports. This is KY3 News.
A national tournament. Good evening. The Lady Bears conquered Creighton tonight, 88-71. Ned Reynolds will be along with highlights and tell us what happens a little later on. In other news tonight, a break in trade relations between the U.S. and Japan came today. President Clinton announced an agreement opening Japanese markets to U.S. cellular telephones and other technology. A dispute came between Japanese and U.S. trade negotiators after complaints by Motorola Corporation claiming the company was locked out of the Japanese business market, a direct violation of an earlier trade agreement. But a representative from Motorola says today's announcement is a victory for all concerned with the cellular phone industry.
The agreement that was announced by Ambassador Cantor is a victory for the American worker and for the Japanese consumer. The American worker will have access to hundreds of millions of dollars of export potential, and the Japanese consumer will have the opportunity to benefit from the choice of North American technology for cellular phones.
Today's announcement comes just days before the Clinton administration was expected to impose trade sanctions against Japan. In Bosnia, the number of warring factions may be down to 2. At a signing ceremony in Croatia today, commanders of both the Bosnian and Bosnian Muslims and the Croats agreed to join forces and form one federal army. That pact was part of an American effort to reunite 2 of the 3 warring sides. Progress was also made today between Bosnian Serbs and Muslims. Bosnian radio reports Serbs have agreed to open key roads and bridges into Sarajevo, allowing relief supplies and bringing a final end to the nearly 2-year-long siege of that city. 32 British women made history today when they became ordained priests for the Church of England. It was touted as a new era of religious equality for the country's official and largest church. The new priests wept and hugged at their ultimate triumph after decades of battling the male-dominated Anglican Church. New problems came today with today's ceremony, though. Several hundred worshipers and 35 clergymen have left the church in protest. Many other member churches say they will turn away any female priests who want to be part of their parishes. There has been strong reaction to a Massachusetts State Supreme Court decision allowing homosexuals to march in the Boston St. Patrick's Day parade. The sponsor of the 90-year-old tradition says it will pull its sponsorship if the ruling stands, thereby canceling the event. Boston's mayor says there isn't enough time to organize another parade, so a March 17th celebration at the City Hall Plaza will have to do instead. The parade sponsor has decided not to appeal the ruling to the U.S. Supreme Court this year, but may appeal for next year's parade. Last year, in a similar case in New York, a federal judge ruled parade organizers did not have to include a group whose beliefs conflicted with their own. The Boston St. Patrick's Day parade draws over 10,000 marchers annually. America's health care crisis hits close to home for one Ozarks family. We'll have that story when we come back, plus another chapter in an age-old story, landowners versus the government. Mama! 2 people have died on Missouri roads this weekend. The most recent victim from our area, a 63-year-old Osage Beach man. The Highway Patrol says Benjamin DeMond died this morning when his car ran off the road, hit a rock embankment, and overturned. That accident happened on US 54 in Miller County. DeMond was attempting to pass another car when he ran off the road. Last year's flooding may be taking a toll on this year's tourist dollars along Missouri's Linear State Park. We have pictures here of the Katy Trail before heavy rains washed parts of it out last year, before all the debris left in the wake of the Midwest flooding. Now businesses that have sprung up along the trail are suffering. Business owners say the State Department of Natural Resources isn't moving fast enough to repair the biking and hiking trail. Park officials estimate damage to the trail at $1.5 million. The Federal Emergency Management Agency could pay for up to 90% of that bill. Shop owners, though, are trying to organize a volunteer cleanup until help arrives from the government. The Katy Trail is one of several projects across the country that has turned abandoned railway tracks into hiking and biking trails. Now the Rails to Trails project may soon connect Springfield with Bolivar. Ozark Greenways, a local not-for-profit group, is trying to buy 30 miles of rail bed between Springfield and Bolivar for a new biking and hiking trail. But about 100 landowners along the way are fighting to stop the project before it gets started. They want the land to revert to private property owners. It will be up to Burlington Northern to decide who to sell the land to. The First Lady, Hillary Clinton, is scheduled to be in St. Louis Tuesday to talk about health care reform, but a solution won't likely come soon enough to help a Clever family suffering its own personal health care crisis. Jill Jensen has the story that's beginning to touch a lot of lives, people in the Ozarks who are trying to pick up where a health insurance policy leaves off.
Everything stopped for, seemed like, a minute, 2 minutes. And then you take a deep breath and try to go on from there.
That's what Greg Guccione remembers feeling in late December, the day his doctor told him he had leukemia. Employed here at a hardware store in Nixa, and at the age of 37 feeling invincible with 2 young boys, Guccione was shocked. He thought he had the flu, maybe even diabetes, which ran in his family, but not cancer.
It's curable. Curable. Bone marrow transplant can cure this.
What's standing in your way then?
Money. Money.
Although the odds were against it, Guccione's brother is a perfect match for a bone marrow transplant. A $175,000 operation, of which his insurance company will only pay $50,000.
Are you worried about your dad?
Yeah, a lot.
What are you afraid of?
She said he won't be around very much longer. We're putting together a bunch of stuff for him so that he can get money.
And why is the money important?
So he can get better.
Greg Guccione says the first thing he thought about when he was told he had leukemia was his family. The last thing was his insurance, because he thought he was covered.
They cut off at $50,000 on a bone marrow transplant, which leaves quite a bill. And the hospital seems to think they have to have it all up front.
The community's been really supportive. Bake sales at churches, we've raised $20,000 or a little more, and we got a long way to go.
I just know it's going to be there. I just don't know when, but it's going to be there.
The one back up off of the ground.
Guccione gives himself daily injections to fight off the cancer. His success rate for a cure is higher if he has the operation soon. Time and money are the only obstacles in his way. Jill Jensen, KY3 News.
Friends of the Guccione family have written to Hillary Clinton and President Clinton about Greg's story. In the meantime, they are asking for your support through donations. You can send any gift to the Nixa Empire Bank in care of the Guccione Family Trust. That family has another $130,000 to go before Greg can even be admitted for that surgery. Fred's forecasting another day, much like today, give or take a few clouds. Stay with us. Weather's next.
Always wanted a...
Was that you I heard shouting up there watching the Lady Bears tonight?
Oh, it reminded me how good they were playing, and they had to wear the opponent, and they don't have to worry about the muddy fields or wind or anything, just right in there. Did a great job.
They sure did.
Yes.
And you even have the weather for us tonight.
The weather is looking better. Not bad. We think that tomorrow might be good for many things outdoors.
Okay.
Okay. Now, on the weather tonight, we're, of course, having some clouds. The front is very near us, but it's rather weak Pacific air. It'll cool things a little more, but not a lot. Now in Springfield, as we move through the maps, and we're looking, of course, at a few lights and cloudy skies at Springfield with 47. Relative humidity, well, it's 58% with winds calm now, and the barometer on the rise, 30.31. And no precipitation here. A few scattered very light showers, perhaps, or sprinkles you've seen in this area. And the high today did go to 63 degrees. That's above that 56 normal. And it could go to 80 degrees, did it in 1967. The low this morning was 41 degrees. Now, looking at our map here briefly, these temperatures, the Weather Watch reporting on some beautiful temperatures today, mostly in the 60s, except for Dora, and another one to add to it is Pomona there with a 64, and of course that adds up to beautiful weather. This going by twice, indicating it looks impressive, but mostly just scattered light stuff. Northwest Missouri, northeast Missouri, parts of north central Missouri, and some is broken out in southeast Missouri now. West of Cape Girardeau, the statement says, it looks like it's back through parts of our viewing area, but it's very light, very light. And then, of course, through here, this stuff's all moving east, and again, we do not expect any substantial precipitation at all, because the lower levels of the air are dry, and some of the stuff is not reaching the ground that is being printed out here at the present time. Now, looking at the satellite picture, we still have the swirl. The stationary storm system is down here in the southwest, even south of New Mexico, and the other low on the map is up here in Chicago area, and the clouds with the front. The front comes down now at about Springfield, goes on down to the southwest, and we have a split flow of the upper air, one going across in this fashion, another then with the storm, and it's going down pretty well to the south. So we're more to the north of the southerly jet at the present time here. And actually, these temperatures aren't bad for this time of year. 47 here at Springfield, and it does show how the thrust of the cooler air is moving down, because you can see this dip of 40s all the way from the Great Lakes and Kentucky right down into Springfield and the Ozarks and back through here. That's sort of a dip. And then, of course, the warmer temperatures to the south and southwest, southeast. Now, tomorrow, we'll have this low just stalled out here. We think it'll eventually sort of drift south on pretty well south of us. It gives some clouds, maybe rain to southern Arkansas, but otherwise just a few sprinkles. But it has given a variety of weather already. Some strong thunderstorms today in parts of New Mexico, Arizona. Snow, rather abundant parts of the higher elevations tomorrow. The same variety will hold here with thunderstorms to the south. And then we're looking at highs tomorrow, indicating we'll be into the upper 50s. A nice number, really. A little cooler than today. A bit of cloudiness, but we'll count on sunshine as well. The warmer ones are developing along the west coast there because of a system that is way off the coast. Now, our forecast tonight. Well, it looks like we're about what we said at 6 o'clock. It's going to be a very nice night considering everything. And let's have a look at it here. We're going for the outlook to be, there it is tonight, mostly cloudy and a few sprinkles with 38 degrees, but the precipitation might be just more impressive to the southeast of us. Tomorrow, clouds, but a lot of sunshine with 56 the high, and then tomorrow night, partly cloudy and dropping to 34. Northern Arkansas tonight, we're going to say a few scattered light showers here with a low of 40, and tomorrow for Sunday, 58 degrees with some cloudiness, and tomorrow night, just partly cloudy and 36. Well, how about the look for the outlook for Monday is for partly sunny, and we think a nice day with Tuesday mostly cloudy at 62. And Wednesday, well, variable cloudiness with 58 degrees. Again, we think the system will just sort of dive far to the south and move on away. So with that in mind, we're dealing with pretty good weather.
Spring-like week, it sounds like to me.
We'll carry through midweek at this point.
You just won't commit to the whole week.
No, I can't do that yet.
Thanks, Fred. Joe Hickman has a live report from the Missouri High School Championships. Also, Ned Reynolds was there. He has highlights of the Lady Bears in action. Sports is next.
Clear sailing is...
I didn't even have to have the TV turned up, and I heard you yelling play-by-plays clear across town. You were so excited about that game.
Oh, my heavens, yes. It's only just a few blocks over there, but we had to bellow tonight to get over that crowd.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I guess so.
A lot of fun. I really hope both teams get NCAA berths. They deserve it. Good evening, everyone. It was a madhouse at the Hammond Student Center, as most of you saw earlier this evening here on KY3. The Lady Bears have won their way to a fourth straight invitation to the NCAA National Tournament. They'll learn their fate in terms of opponent and site tomorrow morning around 11:30. LaTanya Davis, a great night. Tina Robbins was named as the tournament's most valuable player. And what a show as the Lady Bears win it 88-71. And to the tournament they will be going. 3 and 6, and there they are.
We definitely didn't want it to be like last year. We wanted a big lead. They have three-point shooters. They have a post they like to lob to. We didn't want it as close. So we tried to keep a spread, like Mel said, about 10, at least 10.
The factor that I think is amazing is you're watching two basketball teams that played back-to-back. You know, and this was a quality, hard-fought ball game. That's asking a lot of basketball players. I'm just making that statement that I think that shows great discipline and mental toughness by both programs.
Lady Bears the winners tonight. Now, while the scene was a frantic one here in town, it was a wild one tonight up in Columbia where Big Red is waiting for us. And Joe Hickman, yeah, hey, in all honesty, I did not hear you at 6 o'clock, but yes, son, you do look gorgeous.
Thank you very much. I've waited 3 hours to hear those words, Ned, and I feel much better about my life now. I don't look gorgeous, but I have some other people here with me that do. In fact, they just invaded a couple of seconds ago and said, can we be on television? So these are the Norwood Lady Pirates, a few members of them that have their medals, Class 1A girls state champions. And there's something they've always wanted to do, so I'm going to let them do it right now. Go ahead.
KY3, the place to be.
They wanted to do that. I didn't want to do a commercial, but they wanted to do that. Anyway, we're going to take a look now at how all the championship games went today involving your area teams.
Lockwood added the Class 1A boys trophy to its trophy case by knocking off 12-time state champion Scott County Central. Coach Dennis Cornish saw his top-ranked Tigers lead by as many as 6 in the final quarter by the 25 points of junior center Chris Shorter. And although the Braves got back within 1, sophomore Jason Coos would hit 5 consecutive free throws in the last 2 minutes to secure a 64-60 Lockwood victory, proving they were not intimidated by a team that had won 7 of the last 8 state titles.
We've been looking forward to it all our lives, and ever since we were little, we'd watch people play in Scott County, and we thought if we can get there, that's the biggest hurdle. And then when we got here, we thought just relax and play, and if it happens, it happens. And we knew deep down inside that we could do it.
While Lockwood was winning the 1A boys title, Norwood took the 1A girls crown. Facing Rich Hill, the two teams went into the final 6 minutes of their championship, tied at 31, before senior guard Hannah Hancock made 2 consecutive trays to push the Lady Pirates out to a 6-point lead. From there, Norwood would go on to a 46-38 victory, adding their first ever girls basketball championship to their trophy case because they handled the pressure.
Whenever we get in tight situations like that, I'm not really worried about it that much because we've been in so many of those situations this year. And I know that we had the heart and desire to go out there and do it.
And finally, Warsaw had a heartbreaking chance at a Class 2A girls state championship taken away from them despite the 23 points of Brandy Moloney. Their opponent, top-ranked Eskridge, led by the 28 points of LaShonda Albert. Albert tied the game at 50 with this long-range bomb with 1:15 left. And moments later, this steal and bucket by LaTanya Watson gave Eskridge a lead they'd hold on to 53-52 as Warsaw missed 2 chances in the final 30 seconds to tie it. Still, the Lady Wildcats end up with a 26-6 record, a second-place finish at state, and that's the best in school history.
Euphoria and depression. You can find them all here at the Class 1 and 2A state championships. Let's check the scoreboard and see what happened with all the teams today. First in Class 2A, girls championship, Wellston Eskridge beating Warsaw by a single point in a heartbreaker for the Lady Wildcats, 53-52. Springfield Catholic, the winner of the girls' consolation, 41-38 at overtime over Brookfield. Boys championship just underway between the second and third ranked teams in the state, Portageville and Fatima. The boys' consolation went to Alton big over Colcamp, 65-38. Class 1A girls championship going to Norwood, 46-38 over Rich Hill. Girls consolation won by Wellington Napoleon. And the boys championship, Lockwood, the #1 team in the state, stays there with their 4-point victory over Scott County Central. The boys consolation going to New Franklin, 65-53 over Rockport. Ned, we've had a lot of fun up here. It's been fantastic to watch these teams go through the ups and the downs of the Show Me Showdown. Class 3 and 4A will be here next weekend. And by the way, might I just say, Ned, you look pretty good yourself tonight. Thanks for the compliment.
You'll get yours when you get back, Hickman. I got news for you. Do drive safely, though, all right? Lockwood and Norwood state champs, Joe Hickman in Columbia. Earlier this afternoon, the Class 3A state championships, quarterfinals, held at the Hammond Student Center. Republic, Dave McWhorter looking on as Ashley Fry scores on the break. Cindy Wise had 20, and Republic defeating Marshfield for the second time this season, and Republic will make its second trip now to the state championships next weekend up in Columbia. Then later on, it was Nixa in the red uniforms against Jefferson City Helias. That's Trevor Gregg hitting for Nixa, but it wasn't enough as Helias wins. And on the Class 3A playoff scoreboard, Republic 66, Marshfield 49, and Jefferson City Helias 67-49 over Nixa. Republic and Helias advancing. Class 4A tonight, Springfield Kickapoo on its way back to the state championships. Lady Chiefs 57, Jefferson City 42, and St. Charles West defeated Joplin 77-67. Now, elsewhere today, neither Mizzou nor Arkansas is worried about making the NCAA tournament field. Both are in because of their high ranking. But in the conference tournament semifinals this afternoon, each came up short. Nebraska forced the action early. That's Jerron Boone scoring on the layup. And in the closing seconds of the first half, a steal by Nebraska. This is Jamar Johnson in for the score. And Nebraska had the lead over Missouri. Now, the Tigers kept it close. Here's Paul O'Linney from three-point distance, but it was not enough because Nebraska was searing. Eric Piatkowski And Nebraska upsets Missouri. First Big 8 conference loss of the year for the Missouri Tigers. This is the Pyramid in Memphis, and Nolan Richardson has every reason to be upset because Arkansas is losing to Kentucky. That's Roderick Rhodes scoring there, and you can tell what's going on by looking at the Arkansas bench. Kentucky wins, and on the college basketball scoreboard, a completely turned around day. A number of the top-ranked teams in America losing. Lady Bears win. They're the Missouri Valley Conference champs. Mizzou loses to Nebraska. It's Oklahoma State over Kansas by 1 point. Elsewhere, Kentucky beat Arkansas. North Carolina in overtime. Duke loses to Virginia. Arizona loses. So does Michigan to Northwestern. Louisville defeated Virginia Tech. UCLA loses. California loses. Florida winner. Indiana and Texas both in the winner's circle. Well, baseball today, and the long ball was in evidence. On the exhibition baseball scoreboard, the Texas Rangers defeated the Cardinals 9-8. Juan Gonzalez had 2 runs. Kansas City Royals got 2 home runs from Mike McFarland, beat the New York Mets, the final 7-3. In college baseball this afternoon, the Southwest Missouri State Bears opened up their spring trip on a winning note, clipping Southeastern Louisiana 6-5. Those two will play again tomorrow. Nike Tour graduate Brendel Chambly is a 2-stroke leader after 3 rounds of the Honda Classic in Florida. Davis Love III is second.
I got it.
You figure that one out. Davis Love III is second. Hockey 4-4. St. Louis Blues, New York Islanders not over quite yet.
Okay, I feel like I need to tell you something, Ned. I don't think Joe likes it when you call him red.
You don't?
I think you should call him handsome.
I think we'll check the adjectives for that. Roger's Thesaurus is coming out.
Thank you, Ned. Get out your lottery tickets because there was a jackpot winner in tonight's Missouri Lotto drawing worth an estimated $2.2 million. Those winning numbers were 11, 18, 24, 27, 36, and 42. No one hit the jackpot in the Super Cash drawing, though. Here are those winning numbers: 4, 6, 23, 24, and 36. Here's the winning pick 3 now. Well, we're out of time tonight, but our congratulations again to the Lady Bears and to the high school teams
Norwood and Lockwood
as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Stay tuned now for Saturday Night Live.